Welcome to Supply Chain Talks. My name is Kristian Kaas Mortensen. I'm a Senior Director, Global Partnership and Alliances at project44. And today, I'm also your host for Supply Chain Talks. Project44 has hand-curated a strong partner network in order to extend and enable the best possible customer experience. During spring and summer, we welcome you to our partner series, Supply Chain Talks. These conversations touch on current developments in global supply chains and the world of logistics. Today, we positively welcome Mr. Lois Kerber to Supply Chain Talks. Lois is Director Pre-Sales at Alpega. Lois, I'm very happy and pleased to have you join.
Kristian, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Lois. Sustainability is one of the most important and fundamental topics globally. Besides choosing electric trucks, shorter routes, optimize the loads and reduce empty kilometers driven, what can shippers do more? And can somebody like Alpega and perhaps project44 play a supporting role?
Absolutely. Sustainability has finally received the attention it deserves, and on many levels, in politics, in business, and also, of course, on consumer side. As we all know, logistics and especially mobility and transport logistics contribute a lot to carbon emissions. Transport is responsible for 25 to 30% of the global carbon emissions, and freight transport contributes highly to this figure. Therefore, any initiative to save empty miles and increase the full trucks, of course, will contribute heavily to sustainability. What can shippers do about it? Also, with the experience of COVID-19 in mind, shippers should rethink their sourcing supply strategy and have alternative options in place for more regional networks. When analyzing the network from a total cost of ownership perspective, not only the cost, but also carbon emissions should be more in the focus, not only for the sake of saving money, but also to increase service level and customer satisfaction. Additionally, I think circular economy will be much more relevant in the future. Thorough handling of the resources will have an impact on production and the supply chain processes. Avoiding packaging material and reuse of the packaging material will be more relevant as well. So solutions like Alpega TMS and project44 ensure that the supply chain is optimized, that scenarios can be quickly analyzed, and real-time information is available to have the best options in place. To summarize, sustainability will be more relevant in the future and contribute, hopefully, to a society we all want to live in. A society that is responsible for taking care of natural resources and creating a world that is fair and just to everybody.
I really agree. And Lois, I prepared for our talk today, and one of the many things that really fascinated me is how long you worked with Alpega. When did you start working with TMS, and perhaps share some highlights from that really interesting journey?
Thank you for the compliment, Kristian. So when I joined Alpega in 2003, I was very fortunate that the first implementation project was with our customer, Magna Steyr. And as you know, Magna Steyr is the world leading partner for OEMs manufacturing cars. And back in 2003, they had the challenge to double their production volume by producing a new car for BMW. And Mr. Dax Wiesinger, who was the sponsor at that time, he had a very holistic view on the topic and did not only focus on executional processes. So together with Magna Steyr, we built an end-to-end TMS solution, starting from network optimization to tactical planning to dynamic optimization, and integrated the execution and freight management processes. And even the management and the flow for returnable packages was part of this solution. So I think with this approach, we were quite ahead of the times. And this was also confirmed by the market as we won several awards for the most innovative and solution in the automotive industry. And then maybe another highlight I would like to mention is a project for a European car manufacturer. Our customer has been acquired by a company and had to set up a huge transport organization and implement the TMS in only 9 months. And it was great to see how that could be accomplished in that short time frame. What happened since 2003? In 2003, many companies and a lot of people were still skeptical about doing business on the internet. That is, of course, now it's a given, and SaaS solutions are very common in the industry. So we saw many solutions evolving, and we see that fast integration and communication with different platforms is key.
Great, Lois. A transportation management system, or TMS, is, for me at least, an end-to-end piece of software that helps businesses manage the logistics and streamline the shipping. How do the Alpega TMS reduce complexity and connect all the players in a logistics ecosystem?
Right. Transport is the centerpiece of logistics, and it's influencing the inbound, the outbound, and the warehouse logistics. Therefore, it's key that all the supply chain partners are smoothly and fast integrated in the process. So we strongly focus on integrations via API for all the supply chain partners that are capable of handling this technology. For our customers, it's a very big advantage that we have within Alpega the biggest carrier community in Europe, and that we facilitate fast and smooth integrations with carriers. I think for a SaaS solution, it's also key that the supply chain partners can easily access the platform online and can collaborate. So this is particularly true if you have networks with high numbers of participants, where you have to onboard thousands of material suppliers or customers. Additionally, we see that it is critical to connect different platforms that provide best-in-class solutions. So that's where we are also very grateful that project44 is our partner in providing real-time visibility solutions to our customers.
Let's say from my own experience, I certainly know how challenging it can be to gain efficiency in transportation and logistics. And there are many factors and variables, and without proper visibility, transportation managers and their teams struggle to make informed decisions. How do you see the journey of real-time visibility from, let's say, just a few years ago, today, and then perhaps the next few years?
Kristian, I'm convinced you could answer the question better regarding the journey of real-time visibility, but still let me try. So just a few years ago, customers were satisfied when they received discrete status information about the pickup or the delivery, and in a more or less, let's put it that way, timely manner. The information was usually received by interfacing with the carrier systems or entered online in the platform by the carrier. But in either case, the information was not provided, in most cases, timely enough. So now we see with vendors like project44 that the telematic systems are integrated with the care in the vehicles, and the information becomes available in real time. And of course, this offers our customers, the shippers, the possibility to make fast decisions and effective decisions if any exceptions occur. So for the future, I think we are going to see that the real-time information will be much more integrated into the control tower and risk management solutions of our customers. So based on the real-time information, you can simulate different scenarios and find the best way to minimize cost and maintain still the service level. So in the best case, the solutions will be much more predictive and focused on decision support.
Lois, I imagine that, let's say, especially manufacturers and perhaps retailers across Europe are turning to digital solutions to tackle logistics process inefficiencies and gain visibility. How is Alpega supporting its customers in this journey to configure the right solution for their supply chain?
Yeah, but what we see is that manufacturers and retailers have a strong focus on their inbound processes regarding inefficiencies and visibility. So many customers lack control and visibility of the inbound network and suffer because the goods arrive late or in the wrong sequence. This can often will cause additional effort on customer side. So depending on the needs of the customer and the industry, we have many possibilities to configure the right solution. If the customer has a complex and dynamic network, we propose to start with network analysis and route optimization in order to use the full potential of the network. In all cases, we think it's critical that the material suppliers are fully integrated in the process in order to have accurate data in place for planning and fully optimizing the use of the transports. So we give the suppliers access to our TMS platform to confirm the quantities and the dates. And like that, the customers are aware very early if any deviations occur. So especially for, of course, for manufacturers with just-in-time processes or for retailers with special promotions, critical to have the goods at the destination in the right time. So a solution like project44 helps the customers to recognize immediately if the delivery time is at risk and take actions accordingly to prevent production issues or stockouts.
Cool. Lois, my final question. You work mainly in pre-sales, but that also brings you very often close to implementation. So how has Alpega implementation changed from the time you joined the company until today? And how has working from home and perhaps even implementing from home impacted your projects?
You remember the Magna Steyr project I mentioned before? 2003 was one of the hottest summers in Europe, and there was not enough space in place due to the heavy growth of Magna Steyr. So we conduct our workshops for about 3 months in containers, and the heat was incredible. And if you stepped out of the container, it seemed to be even hotter. But maybe the heat and the smoking heads had a positive impact on our creativity. But jokes aside, at that time, the requirements phase and the specification phase took much longer than nowadays. At that time, in many cases, customers did not have yet a clear picture of their requirements, and also the TMS solutions were not that mature then. So now customers much more prefer to choose a best-in-class solution, and the implementation methodology is more agile, based on a prototyping approach that takes into account standard solutions and standard templates. And during the solution design, the processes are already modeled in the system, and the approach is much more interactive. Results are available at a very early stage, and like that, minimizing the risk for the customer regards of implementation. Yes, and indeed, working from home has changed the collaboration radically. So I have always been a fan of face-to-face meetings at customer sites. However, I'm amazed how well working from home worked out. So we use very interactive tools in the online meetings. We try to reach a high level engagement level and interaction in the workshops. The Duration of the meetings is usually shorter than working on site, so which fosters more focus and concentration. So we implemented some successful projects from home only. And overall, I think there are many learnings out of that and ways of working together that will also remain in the future.
Great. When you start talking about the warm container, first of all, I started to feel the heat on my forehead, but I also start to think what a change. You know, today new employees, they want to have a football table and M&Ms and flexibility, not to work in a 35 degrees hot container. Anyway, Lois, thank you so much for joining Supply Chain Talks. More importantly, thank you to you, your colleagues, and to the Alpega Group for being such a great partner. We really appreciate it.
Kristian, thank you for the invitation. Also from my side, thank you for the partnership. And I'm looking forward for many fruitful and successful projects. Thank you.
Thank you.